Joining us now, live and exclusive from Colombo, is the man who revolutionized one-day batting. The explosive batting that you see in T20 was started by Sanath Jayasuriya back in the World Cup for one-day internationals, and he now joins us live on India Today, one of the most iconic Sri Lankans alive. Mr. Jayasuriya, welcome to India Today. This is a very troublesome time for you individually and for the people of Sri Lanka, and I think I speak for all Indians when we say we're looking very carefully at what's happening, and the people of Sri Lanka are in our thoughts all the time. So thank you for joining us. I want to start by asking you, Sanath, about the departure of President Rajapaksa in the way that he did, this sudden move to Maldives, from there seeking asylum in Sri Lanka. When you were seeing the build-up, the protests happening out in the streets of Colombo over the last several weeks and months, did you anticipate that this is the way it would end for one of the most powerful political families in Sri Lanka?
No, I never thought it will happen like this, and we all was thinking that he will resign and remain in our country, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and he has left the country early this morning to Maldives, and then thereafter he will go to another country which we don't know at the moment. So it's a very sad day because the Sri Lankans, the protesters, been protesting for last about several months now. And for why we do that is everyone has seen, and I think you all have been seeing, and what's going on in my country, the current fuel prices and electricity, also gas issue, the health issues, everything is there in my country in the last few months. So unfortunately, the things what the people wanted is not there. So the people have been absorbing all the pressure for a longer period, and they started after a very long time, and people have come out on the street and start protesting. So the protesting is very peaceful one. It's not non-violence. So that is why people have been protesting peacefully. So they will continue peaceful protest. And the 9th of July became to another level, and they all went into the President's Palace and the President's Secretariat, also the temple trees, and demanding that President and Prime Minister should resign. So unfortunately still that didn't happen, even though they promised on the 13th.
At this moment there's no electricity, there's no fuel, the people of Sri Lanka very badly off. What do you think should be the next step? There's talk of the opposition coming together to form a government. Who would you like to see as the new Prime Minister and President? What do you think happens from here?
The thing is, it's up to the Speaker and the all party leaders to come up and make a stable government for a few months with a cabinet. So then the international community will see that our country is stable. Then only the international community will come and help Sri Lanka, because we need help at the moment, because only India did it earlier on, and giving us about more than $4 billion to Sri Lanka to come out of this crisis, but still we couldn't. So we need other countries' help also to come out of this crisis.
Sure. No, but in terms of the opposition coming together, because the critical question is, what Ranil Wickremesinghe was trying to do is essentially what the new government will also have to try and build on. So what is it that you're expecting? Because a lot of these protesters are saying they don't want anybody who's been in power in the past to be a part of the future. They want a new government of new faces. But how will this be different from what the Wickremesinghe government is trying to do?
The thing is, the protesters first, they asked President to resign, and also the protesters want Prime Minister to resign. So at the moment, no one has resigned. Even the President has not given the letter of resignation yet. So this is why the protests start today. So I think the people want to see the resignation first. So it has not happened yet. So this is why the people people are waiting. Then even whatever the government, the speaker was talking with the other party leaders, and for that the talking with the other parties, the protesters also can get involved on their views. Well, it's not harm getting them involved and getting their thoughts into our system, because it's not any harm. So I hope the speaker and all the party leaders, even other party leaders, the Muslims, Tamil party leaders, we all need to get together in this moment, because we can't divide, fight for individual positions, will not help Sri Lanka. This is a team game you need to come out with. You can't play individually. Come out and play their own role and perform it out. So they need to come as a team and perform.
When you were batting, you were a thorn in India's flesh quite often, and we didn't particularly like that very much. But in a sense, you're one of the most beloved Sri Lankans in India, and huge recall and popularity. Can you tell our viewers how life has been for you individually and for people around you over the last few days?
I think I've been here properly, but what I think what you said was around my.
How's life been for you? How's life been for you? Shortages, price rise, and for people around you. Just describe what life's been like for Sanath Jayasuriya.
It's been very difficult. Telling you the truth, it's very, very difficult for Sri Lankans, including myself. It's not very easy. The people are in queues for 4 or 5 days for fuel and for gas. So essential, like the medicines, running out of medicines in mostly the government hospitals. So it's very difficult. That is why I said we need politicians to get together and come up with a plan and give that confidence to the people. The people doesn't have confidence in politicians anymore. So they need to make that confidence. So I hope the speaker and the all party leaders come up with a plan, team plan, and work for the Sri Lankan people. For 22 million people are suffering.
Okay, you also spoke about help from other countries. For those watching in India and from our government, Sanath, what is it that you'd like to ask for or suggest on behalf of the Lankan people?
What we were discussing all this time, that we know whoever the stable government comes, they should have a plan to go to the international the community. So we know that we don't have fuel, we don't have gas, we don't electricity issues, medicine. So they need to come up with a plan to go to international community and ask from the international community. So not I am asking from international. I can say that we need this, we don't have fuel. So I'm not in the government, but we are putting pressure to the government, come up with a plan and tell the people, and what we are doing, this is what we are doing. So then the international community will come and help Sri Lanka.
Is there a sense of betrayal that you feel from China? The fact that all these vanity projects in terms of ports, airports were built with no clear return on investment, no economic utility, leading to a debt spiral for which Sri Lanka is paying for with these very grave consequences.
Yeah, but the thing is now we no point we are talking about what we had in the past. Now you can't do anything. But we know that we have got a big loans from China, we got loans from India, we got a lot of things from all the countries. But the thing is now, presently, what the protesters is asking, the stable place, the stable politicians who can take out this critical situation out of hand and get the people a better life for Sri Lankans.
Lastly, I've been reading a lot of reports about Jayasuriya toying with the idea of getting into politics, Jayasuriya rejecting the idea of getting into politics. Do you think this is a moment where someone like you should really pad up, go out on the political pitch and bat for Lanka?
I'm a civilian in Sri Lanka, that's all. I'm a civilian.
Okay, I leave it over there. Sanath Jayasuriya, for joining us, for being as direct and candid as you always are. Thank you very much. And as I said earlier, everyone very worried about what's happening in Lanka and hoping that in our neighborhood, in the Emerald Islands, peace and tranquility prevails very quickly. What do you think should happen to the Rajapaksa family? Do you think they should pay for their crimes? They fled. Do you think they need to pay for landing Sri Lanka in the mess that it's ended up in?
Yeah, but not only me, everyone have been saying that because the mismanagement is where we are now. So this is the people, that's how people think. That is what the protesters are thinking. That is what the Sri Lankan communities think. So the thing is now, we can do all the things now later. We can discuss all these things, what they have done previously, we can do that. But my thing is, as a Sri Lankan, as a civilian of my country, for us to come out of this situation, we need to come up with a plan, the politician presently. So we need a quick, short-term plan and to save our people in this country.
Sanath Jayasuriya, for joining us in India today, thank you very much. We wish you and your people all the very best. Thank you, sir.